So hey guys, today we're going to be taking a quick look only and not a review of the new RWA licensed agency arm slide kit manufactured by Guns Modify. And there are actually two versions of this kit. One is the normal black color, which is very normal looking, sort of like an anodized black slide. It could be some other coating that I'm not aware of. And the other one, of course, is the cerakote gray version, which is actually what I have, which is pretty cool. I'll show you guys in a second. And as for the price, since it's by RWA, licensed by agency, and also made by Guns Modify, you're looking at roughly around 2,300 Hong Kong dollars for the normal black color, and around 2,900 Hong Kong dollars for the cerakote one. And now this is officially the most expensive kit that I own. And just let me clarify, I do not have a working relationship with any particular manufacturer or RWA or whoever. I got this myself. I paid the full 2,900 for it. In fact, I just brought this recently from Bang Bangs, which is a store that Airsoft Surgeons set up with Michael running the front. If you guys know who that is, he's quite well known Red Wolf. In this case, I had the option of picking a number, by the way. So in this case, I chose number 8. I wish I had 087 because my channel is Rogue System 087, but I couldn't get one, unfortunately. But anyways, I digress. Back to the kit. So this is what you get. It's basically just a box that slides out. Just be wary that if you take off the tape, it can just slide out like this. I already took out my membership card. There was a membership card that came with it, which I have no idea what that does at the moment. And basically, here's the kit. So what you first get is the mag wall. Notice that this mag wall is actually very, very small compared to the Ace 1 Arms one. If you look real carefully, okay, this is the Ace 1 Arms one. Look at the size difference. The size difference is astronomical. So that's quite interesting. This is very, very accurate to what the real one looks like. I do have a real one, by the way, directly from agency, and this is pretty much, this looks like it. I'll take a look at it later. My real one is getting cerakoted right now because I scratched the hell out of it. So that's the mag wall. You will also get a Guns Modify blowback housing unit with some of the Philly bits, along with a recoil guide rod. Now, let me just clarify something right now. This kit is the 17 interface. So basically, when you buy this kit, it's meant for a Tokyo Marui Glock 17 system, which means it's compatible with the WE Glock 17 as well. You can get a Tokyo Marui Glock 18 blowback housing unit with the right appropriate parts, and then you can build it on an 18 if you wish, but you're going to have to purchase that separately. This kit is for the 17 primarily. It will also come with the Guns Modify backplate. Notice that this backplate is blank, so you can do whatever you want to it. You can engrave it, I guess, if you want. And of course, you have the Glock 18 nozzle, which is very, very common, all for Guns Modify RMR kits. It has the rocket valve locker, the base for the piston, and of course the Glock 18 nozzle. And as for the recoil guide rod, it's packaged quite neatly in here. Yeah. I guess this is sort of an unboxing video as well. I already sort of unboxed this when I was eating dinner outside, which was weird. Oh, so it looks a lot like the Atom Slide kit that came with the recoil. Notice the guide rod on the top has a consistent finish. I noticed that the recoil, the thing that captures the recoil spring, it's really, really big. Can you actually notice how that looks? So this thing is pretty big. It's not particularly smooth though. So if I remember correctly, you can disassemble it from the bottom. Yeah, you can. There we go. You can disassemble it from the bottom. So you can change out your own recoil spring if you don't like this one. Now, next up we have the sights. Just to let you guys know right now, the one disappointing thing about this kit is that these sights are not tritium. Despite the fact that they're from Guns Modify, they're not tritium. Also notice that despite the fact that they're from Guns Modify, they do not feature the Trigicon markings. They do not have Trigicon markings whatsoever. Okay, so they're just basically suppressor sights that look very good, that are for looks only. They don't have markings on them whatsoever, but they look very good. If you notice the white encasing around their dummy vial, looks pretty consistent to me. They look the part. I'm just going to use them. And next up, we have the barrel. Now, this is probably one of the coolest parts about the kit. Now, I know the slide is cool, I know it's a cerakote, but personally, I find the barrel to be the coolest part. You cannot tell on camera, but the coating and the finishing on this is fantastic. It's probably the best looking barrel that I've ever held in my hands so far. And this is steel. There we go. Very, very sexy looking barrel. I have no idea what they did to do this kind of finishing, but the finishing is just absolutely fantastic. I cannot speak highly enough about it. There's no inconsistencies in the finish. It's a very, very smooth finish with a sort of a dull, shiny color. So it's basically shiny, but it's not like super, super bright like the Zeftex that you get from the Nebula slide kits. It's nothing like that. Like this has its own special borderline reflective with a little bit of I don't really know how to describe it. It's just a very good looking barrel. Like you might be able to tell from the light reflecting. You can tell, like, can you see as the light reflects off of it? It's really, really shiny, but it's not like the Zeftex ones, not like the very, very weird looking ones. I would say that it's very standard for Guns Modified to make the silver barrels this nice. Very, very good looking. Notice the agency marking. And of course, that's the RWA number. Oh, by the way, if you get your kit with their number or whatever, my kit is 008. So that's mine. By the way, if you know who I am from just looking at my kit, don't say my name on the channel, please. I want to keep my name private. Okay? The reason why I'm showing it is because that's something unique about the kit. And of course it has the fluting and all that stuff and the weird structure at the front. Lots of detail in the barrel, actually. Best looking barrel I've ever got for airsoft, for sure. Next up is the trigger. How I'm gonna get that out, I don't know. There we go. So that's the agency trigger. Now this is the first time I've ever seen one. Of course for airsoft, right? But you know, first time I've ever seen that trigger shoe. I think that's what they call it. It's actually quite a simple looking trigger. I'm surprised companies didn't copy it. I'm surprised Ready Fighter didn't copy it yet. Yeah. Okay, so it's basically a Guns Modified trigger, right? So it's basically, you know what? It is a tunable trigger, but it doesn't have that hole. Normally there's a hole there for you to adjust it. So basically the screw is now just there. Okay, so that's quite interesting. I would have thought the hole would be right there, but I guess not. I'll probably have to figure that out later on. And also, you know, the holes for the sides of the pins, they still have the threadings on, so I'm pretty sure that they probably give you the option to choose between having to choose pins or screws when you install the trigger. Okay, this is for the magwell insert. Okay, so that's the safety. Notice the safety angle is different, and they both, in the package they gave you both pins and screws, so you can choose between which one you want. I'm going to choose pins because I like pins better. I don't like using screws. By the way, in order to use these kinds of screws, you need a very small Allen key that's metric thread, not in inches. You have to use metric. If you use inches, you will screw up these threads, and they give you the blue thread lock. This blue thread lock doesn't even look like thread lock because it sort of stays gunky forever. Okay. Next up, we got your other parts to assemble it. You have your piston. You have just all your Philly bits, like your magwell. Oh, they still did the same mistake. Can you notice? Notice that the screw for the magwell insert, this is for the magwell insert. Notice how long that screw is. So you're probably going to have to shave this down like before. Every single time when Guns Modified sells a kit, this screw is always a little bit too long, so you probably have to shave it down a little bit. I'm pretty sure this is too long, even though I haven't installed it yet. I'm pretty sure you're going to have to modify this, which is not a big deal. You know, I just Dremel it off with a mill head. Takes 3 seconds. That's your extractor, and these are all your other Philly bits. So I'm noticing that they give you your RMR screws and the other screws as well. So that's very, very normal. I expected that. And of course, for the juiciest part of the kit, it's the slide. So, up to this point of the video, I'm going to do a lot more close-ups. So let's take a closer look at all the fiddly bits now. So I just want to point out that the barrel plate, the magwell, which does have the agency logo on it, and of course the agency trigger with the logo on it, all these three colors are pretty much the same. In fact, this looks exactly the same as the black, as the black slide. So let's put that on the side. I'll take the armor plate off too, the barrel plate. So here is the slide. So right off the bat, I can tell you that the coating and the finishing is very consistent throughout the whole entire slide. However, if I were to be extremely, extremely picky, if you look very, very closely, can you see that? So this is as close as I can zoom in. Notice that there are some very, very minor, is the right word asperities? Or inconsistencies? It's very, very subtle. It's barely visible. You have to look really, really close in order to see it. In fact, most of the time I can only see it when I have the camera this close. It's very, very faint. It's honestly not a big deal because the second you zoom out, be entirely honest with you, I could not see it until I brought it home under a light. The reason why I look at everything under a light is because I like to check for scratch marks, and I like to check for inconsistencies in the slide. So far, that appears to be the only area that shows up on it. If you look at the top, there's none of that. If you look at everywhere else, there's none of that. I'm very glad to report that the painting, that the cerakote, none of it seems to be puddling up in these edges, which I'm very pleased about, to tell the truth. Like, honestly, the color of the slide, by the way, is absolutely fantastic. If you compare this to an Ace 1 Arms, you can clearly tell which is which. It's so easy to tell. This is an Ace 1 Arm, the Ace 1 Arms with the battle plate on right now. This is the RWA one. Okay. On the camera, I can clearly see that the camera screen is not showing it very well, but in my eyes, I can clearly see which one is which. This almost makes the Ace 1 Arms one looks green. I don't know why green, okay? It just almost makes it look like it's a dull color. And if you look really carefully on the Ace 1 Arms one, yes, the Ace 1 Arms is smooth, but if you look super, super closely, can you see some sort of like a horizontal machining mark? It's very, very subtle. It's very difficult to see, but you might be able to catch it on camera. Like sometimes when you see the shadows on it, you can very briefly see the machining marks. While the RWA one has absolutely no machining marks. You can't see anything whatsoever. Basically, the machining is perfect, as you would expect from Guns Modified. Guns Modified has a tendency to manufacture their stuff pretty good. Like, my only complaint would be their normal slides, to tell the truth, because the coating on it is not that good. But the machining that Guns Modified does has always been, you know, to my standard, like, pretty good, pretty damn good. So yeah, that's a very good looking slide. Like, the color is probably the biggest factor for me, because when I actually looked at this and compared this to the black color, this color is like way better looking in my personal opinion. It's a very, I can see why it might take someone special to make this kind of color. It's like a very subtle gray, maybe a hint of blue and mixed in with a dash of black. I'm probably just completely wrong there, but you know, it looks the part. It certainly looks good. I can imagine if you contrast this with the black parts, like, it must look really, really good. I can't wait to build this kit. So, but there's a couple things I want to check right now, and you'll be checking this with me. This is the barrel lockup. Heavy, heavy barrel. Look very carefully. So that's it. That's the play. Look very, very carefully. You might be able to see it moving. It's pretty much, the left and right tolerance is pretty much none. It's negligible. The front. May I remind you that the barrel is not, this part here doesn't matter as much. At least in my experience, it doesn't. So that's pretty cool. Everything seems to be fine. And of course, because this gun's modifier, everything else expected to fit like the normal fitment. But basically, if you want to put this into your kit, it's pretty much a drop-in. However, if you want to get it to work well, if you want to work gas efficiently, of course you're going to have to tune it yourself. And just out of curiosity, you know what? I'm not going to switch these battle plates on because since not much point. Hey, you know what? There's a difference in the battle plates. Oh, okay. Well, this is much more distinctive than the Ace 1 Arms one. Clearly distinctive, very clear. Okay, so basically the gun's modifier kit is much more distinctive in a lot of different places. My only complaint will only be these kinds of areas, which is not a big deal. I can live with that. Okay. So everything is very, very well packaged. Everything's fine. So overall, I really do like the kit. I really do find it sexy. Yes, you can argue for the fact that you can actually just buy an Ace 1 Arm kit and cerakote it if you want. But honestly, I think although the price is very, very steep, although this is 3,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is pretty much like, even though 2,900 is pretty much 3,000, let's just round it up. Even though it's that price, it does look very good, I will admit. Like, it does look very, very good. I love all the stuff that comes with it. Like, this is like the best looking part. Absolutely in love with this barrel. And with the barrel plate, with all this, like, everything looks correct. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed my pain. Please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. I also have a Facebook page that you can follow me on, in which I will leave a link in the description box below. Peace, guys, happy shooting, and thanks for watching.